No one knows more about Darnell Washington on this panel.
Oh, yeah.
Aditi, who's ready to join us. What's up, Aditi?
Hey,
270s playing tight end, Aditi. That's kind of crazy, this guy. I don't know how good he is.
That's a bit above my playing weight. Just a little.
Just a little bit. Bernie, put your earpiece in so you can hear Aditi.
Yeah, where am I?
There it is.
Yeah. Aditi, what did Elijah Moore have to say? Anything interesting? Is he going to catch any passes this week or what?
Excuse me, he is actually, you know what? He's catching a lot of passes. He has almost as many receptions as Amari. He just hasn't.
Yeah, they're about 3 yards per reception.
Yeah, well, you know what? Right now they're asking him to eat up some grass, but that doesn't mean that a big play isn't coming. And so let's watch on Sunday because we had the conversation. And should a big play come, you know, the producer will come down to me and I'll say, hey, Elijah Moore and I just talked about this on Thursday.
How is he handling things through 5 games? Because he came in, not as a savior, but he came in as a guy who everybody expected big things from him.
Tons of hype.
And there was a lot of hype around him. And yeah, he is gobbling up some catches, but it's safe to say he has not lived up to the expectations that the fans have had for him. How is he handling all that? What's his mindset?
Okay. So let's start with this. Remember that the expectations that a player himself has and that a coach and a team has, and an understanding of what your role is and what your job is perhaps a little bit different than what a fan expects or thinks a person's job is. So let me say, and obviously Elijah Moore wants to break some big ones. Obviously he wants more yardage and not just eating up some grass to get to that first down marker. That's a given. But I'll say this. I talked with this young man last year before the Jets came in to face the Browns. We spent, a good 20, 25 minutes together. I obviously was with him during training camp, and I talked to him again now. He is genuinely enjoying where he is, loving this offense, seeing the potential of it. I mean, I asked him what's different, and he said, everything. He loves how Kevin Stefanski has this open line of communication with him about the different ways that he can be used. And it's not just lining him in the slot and there you go. I think I looked up the stat the other day. Through his first 3 years with the Jets, he had 10 carries. This year so far, he's got 8. And he's like, I love it. I love it. Use me every which way that you possibly can.
He hasn't done anything with him.
They're not working, though.
But again, this is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
He has patience. When I spoke to him week 2 last year, you could see that he had already lost patience with what the Jets were doing offensively. The word that he used with me today is, I just need to keep being patient. I know it's coming. He is being involved. He is being used. Just because it hasn't broken yet doesn't mean that it's never going to break. Let's be honest. We're still a little bit early in all of this. Let's also be honest. It took 3 games until Deshaun Watson was finally playing the way you'd want a star quarterback to play. And then all of a sudden you're playing a rookie quarterback who had 2 hours notice that he was playing, and then all of a sudden you're starting another guy, PJ Walker. Life hasn't exactly been set up for Elijah Moore to go out there and be wide receiver 1 in the National Football League at the moment. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
I get it. We need to be more patient.
I hear you. I don't think he's ever going to be wide receiver 1.
I want to say this. I do feel that, and you can all say this, you all know like when a guy is going through the motions, you know when a guy is fake, you know when a guy is saying what he needs to say. And you know when someone's really, truly bought in and believes in what's happening. And so I'm here to tell you, I talked to Elijah Moore a year ago when he was not a member of this organization. I've been around him as he's learned, acclimated, gotten into this organization. And I just talked to him half an hour ago. Yeah. He's in a different place. And if he tells me that he feels optimistic and he feels there's a reason to be patient and he feels that those big splashy plays are coming, I'm buying. I am. Sorry.
Let's move on to the most important.
You don't like when I disagree. It would be better if I said, yes, you're right, he's a bust.
You couldn't. I thought you knew me better than that. I love to argue, so I love when people disagree. That's a total misconception that I want people to agree with me. It would be boring if people agree with me because I enjoy arguing. So I'm fine with that. But we got to get to the biggest story because obviously there's been big injury news surrounding the Browns. This Harrison Bryant injury, I don't know how the Browns will. No. Deshaun Watson, we had no idea what was going on, right? There was terrible mixed messaging from the Browns. It seems like this week they've gotten on the same page, and supposedly he's practicing today for the first time in a while. What's the latest that you can tell us on Deshaun Watson and whether or not you think he might play this week?
I genuinely believe, from what I'm being told, that it is 50-50. that he is doing everything to play, that he wants to play, that there's a possibility, but let's see what happens today. Let's see, does he indeed get out on that practice field? Does he feel that he can drive the ball? Does he come out of practice feeling good? I think that that's sort of a greater indicator. And I don't see the drama and the scandal that sort of was alleged by certain people on the internet a week ago, I guess. I think that it really is something as simple as, let's see if he can do it, and today could be a really good, positive, optimistic sign. And if not, how about PJ Walker handling business? If it has to be another week, that's a young man that certainly, had confidence and has even more confidence this week. Wouldn't you? If you had just beaten the San Francisco 49ers, wouldn't you have some extra confidence?
I don't know if I would call it him beating them, but he was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was under center. I don't know how I feel about them two picks.
They missed a
He
kick.
didn't give away
very
the
makeable.
game. How about we do that? He didn't give away the game.
That's
Okay,
you know
okay.
what?
No,
That's
he did.
fair.
He
He
did.
damn near tried it on that last pass into the end zone. But to your
In the
point,
end,
he
he
did
didn't.
not give away
okay.
the game.
That's right.
So there's that.
Yeah, I think if you could beat San Francisco with him, you should be able to beat Indy with him, I would think.
You would hope. Indy,
Yeah.
that is playing, obviously, with its
never
own
know.
backup quarterback, a veteran backup quarterback, but
Yeah.
a backup quarterback who did not look particularly good against the Jaguars defense. And, this is a conversation that my crew and I were having about the Browns yesterday. Pro Football Talk had done a comparison of how much further the Browns defense ranks from the second place team in various categories, and how the Browns are that much better than the second place team is from the 32nd place team.
Yeah.
And one of the members of my crew made the point of saying, okay, but let's look at who the Browns have played. They played a Steelers team with a horrific offense. They played, a 49ers team without certain star players, and et cetera.
That's a bogus argument.
Bengals
Well,
team
and that's
on a
what I
wet
said. I
field.
said, you know what? But I said that you play who you're scheduled to play. You line up and you play, and it's still doing it. But to that argument, you can't give that argument if there's not consistency. If you keep stacking performances like that, people are going to stop looking for reasons to kind of cut that down.
That's fair.
Well,
Cut those numbers
the one outlier though, Aditi, was the Baltimore game, and I know that they gave the Ravens 2 short fields, but
Right.
even taking that out of the mix, the Ravens had success moving the football against the Browns. I've kind of come to the conclusion that what's different from the Ravens and all the others is that they have a quarterback that they really have to be afraid of hurting them with his legs. Is that a likely conclusion as to why Baltimore has had the most success against this Browns defense, because they have a running quarterback?
Jay, I feel that that's a piece of it, of course, and it's not that Lamar is merely a running
No,
quarterback.
but he can
Lamar
run.
is a single, unique, dynamic talent.
Sure.
But I also think that division games, you just sort of throw them out the window. It's like Steelers-Browns. You don't know what's going to happen. It's Steelers-Ravens. It's Browns-Ravens. These are teams, they know each other as well as anybody could possibly know each other. And so that adds just a completely different dynamic to the whole thing. I don't know that it's even really about a matchup or a scheme or an individual player. It's just, think about it. Over the last decade, how many crazy, bizarre things have we seen happen in AFC North games? Mm-hmm. I can think of a million examples of one team headed to like a 4-win season, another one headed to the playoffs, and the 4-win team winning with a backup quarterback. It happens.
Aditi, who are you more impressed with? The Dolphins offense or the Browns defense?
The Browns defense.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. So you ready to go on national TV this game, when you're doing the game, to say the Browns are the number 1 defense in the league, bar none?
Well, I don't give opinions from the sideline. I only give facts. And if there's some
Trying to set you
reason
up.
to say that, yes, you clearly are.
Well, the
No,
numbers
but
say that.
I'm so old school. I know that you were all talking about this, but to me, and I'm sorry, Bernie, but defense still wins championships to me.
No.
If you can shut somebody down, yes, it does. If you can shut down a great offense, then there you go. And I think right now that, yes, the Dolphins offense is doing stupefying things. I have their game next week. I have the Pats at Dolphins week 7, so I'll get to see them up close. I saw them up close last year twice. But I just think that the Browns defense, the way that they're playing, the speed with which they're playing, the motor and the energy. It's funny. I was a couple minutes late because I was just talking to Colts veteran center Ryan Kelly, and we were talking about what jumps out about that Browns defensive front. And he said it's their motor on first down and second down. Ooh. You see a lot of teams get very amped up on third down when they can go rush the passer. But these guys play the same way, even if it's first down. And that's really, really fun to see. Really fun to watch.
I would love to see a matchup between the Dolphins and the Browns in the playoffs, because it is a fascinating example of, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, and see how that thing shakes out.
In the Super Bowl last year, the offense beat the defense.
Well, it's not like Kansas City had a bad defense.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Eagles had the best defense in the league last year by far.
Okay, but
Yeah,
you're not
they did.
talking about like a romp,
if thing,
Adam.
though.
It's not
If
like
one
they
play
just
changes.
ran all over them or threw
Yes,
all
right.
over them.
Yes, they did. The
I mean,
Eagles'
that's
offense was
what they
just
got.
good. The Chiefs ran all over the Eagles' defense. Eagles' defense was terrible in the Super Bowl.
And then, not to
Yeah.
make excuses, the whole
Yeah.
point was that the best part of the Eagles' defense was mitigated or handcuffed by that horrible field. They couldn't get that pass rush off the way that they wanted to because of the footing of the field.
That's a great point, Aditi.
Yeah,
That pass rush and the Jim Schwartz wide 9 does not want to have that wet, slippery, nor frozen field as we trend towards the end of the season, because that's stifling. It's stifling.
Yeah. So, I guess that's an interesting point. We'll see how all that plays out.
As it
Browns
pertains
take
to the
on
Browns,
their field at least. What was that?
One of the things that we've talked about on the show today is the fact that they are 0-5 in the turnover battles this year. And that's one of the key indicators in a team's success is your plus minus. It's almost mind-boggling that they are 0-5 in the turnover battles, yet they're 3-2 in the win-loss column. They could have, had the Steelers not forced that strip sack fumble, they'd be 4-1, and they still would have lost the turnover battle in that game. It really is kind of defying logic in what we thought we knew about how important that plus-minus stat is.
And I keep focusing on it. I know that the last few weeks when you put me on the spot about this, I keep saying that a defense that comes up with a splash play in key moments almost feels more important than someone that's just consistently playing well and not getting that game-breaking moment. But I asked JOK about it yesterday, like, how much are you guys talking about the fact that you have no takeaways, that these numbers are sort of surprisingly minuscule for how well the defense is playing? And he just, again, kind of the same line, like, they'll come, keep doing your job and they'll come, and we're not focused on it, and it's not something we're thinking about. But it does make me wonder, and that's a player. I do want to ask Jim Schwartz when we meet with him on Saturday, are you doing anything to sort of encourage poking the ball out? Are you doing any additional ball type drills to get the ball? Because that really is a piece of it. And I said this to you guys last week when we were talking about the 49ers game, and I was like, why can't we expect the defense to step up? Why can't we expect the defense to go out and win a game?
You did say that.
And in a lot of ways, yes, in a lot of ways the defense did, but go get a turnover. Go get, go score a touchdown.
And what
if
really
TJ
hurt,
Watt can score a touchdown, if Alex Highsmith can score a touchdown, why can't these great Browns defensive players score a touchdown?
And then, Aditi, you've got to take advantage of them and play complementary football. The one turnover they got, they were in field goal range. They go minus 20 yards on the next 3 plays, and they're punting the ball back, completely erasing the takeaway.
Exactly. But we can argue that the Browns maybe just haven't had as much practice.
Yeah, Aditi, let's wrap
the field after a takeaway.
Let's wrap it up with this. If the Browns are going to make a trade, and the Browns have been an aggressive team, the trade deadline's 12 days away, I think. If they're going to make a trade, without going into specific players, what would be the priority for you? Replacing Jed Wills at left tackle, or just getting maybe some depth at that position? Getting another wide receiver that would be a clearer number 2 guy behind Amari Cooper, or getting a running back who is, legitimate, at least in the mix type of running back, 1A, 1B.
Or a better backup quarterback.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know
would
what?
you do?
I don't. No, I think that Kareem Hunt finally looked sort of that his pads had warmed up. That was the phrase he used with us, that he needed to warm
okay.
his pads up. He finally looked pretty good. I think that Jerome Ford, all things considered, is indeed coming along. I think that they are feeling good about the way that they can and will run the ball. I disagree with you on the wide receiver room. I think that they're fine. I still believe in Elijah Moore. I'm not writing him off after 5 games.
That's fine. You're in the minority, but you may turn out to be right.
Maybe.
One
We'll see.
touchdown in 5 games.
I think that's a product of the quarterback play, but
Yes.
Contributing.
Agreed. Don't
Yeah.
the Browns only have one wide receiver touchdown
Yeah.
entirely?
Crazy.
Yeah. For the
they
whole
only have
season.
4.
One.
They only have 4 passing touchdowns on the season. That's it. So
Right. So again, but I think that a lot of that has to do with quarterback play.
yes, I agree. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but if guys are
So-
getting separation and they're open, you're more likely to get a touchdown here.
But
or there.
a guy
Run
like
into-
Marquise Brown
Sure.
could certainly help the team, I think.
I feel like that's not an area of desperate need. I think you just need to get better at doing what you do. I don't love the left tackle situation.
So that would
You're
be
right,
it?
but I don't know.
He is coming off his best
but
game of the year,
Who are you
though.
getting right now? Like, you're not getting Trent Williams. Who do you think you're getting?
You can get Trent Brown from New England. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Why wouldn't they trade him? They stink. They're out of it. You could get Grant Bowles from Denver. He's pretty good, and they're out of it. So I think you could get one of those two guys.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see, right? I haven't had those conversations. Let me get to Indy this weekend and see if I can dig up any.
The bottom line is the Browns appear to have a Super Bowl caliber defense. If Deshaun Watson can play, I'm not even asking at this point for the rest of this year to play Houston Deshaun Watson. I'm saying play 3/4 of Houston Deshaun Watson.
Tennessee Watson.
The guy, the guy who played in the
Tennessee
Tennessee
Watson.
game, as we talked about. If he plays at that level with this defense, they're a Super Bowl contender. There's no doubt.
So then you're fine. You don't need an additional piece. I think right now the focus
Well,
is
no,
get
but it's not
Deshaun
about
Watson
being
healthy.
fine. It's about being as good as you can be. I don't want to see.
Sure, but again,
I got to
I
keep
think
Watson healthy.
You're not getting this. Well, that's all very fair, but you're
Yeah.
not getting the greatest assessment of what this team is going to be in the next month without the quarterback being out there.
That's fair.
That is very
That's
fair.
fair.
That's true.
Hey,
Thanks,
and to
Yeah, go
Dee Dee's
ahead.
point on the receivers and stuff, one
Yeah.
of the guys we haven't talked about who's coming back healthy, missed a training camp, I love him, is Marquise Goodwin. As
I know,
a
I'd love to see
person,
more of him.
and he's in the few snaps he's gotten open a few times deep. And I think he's starting to get his health back and getting into his game. That could be somebody
That's true.
who
He showed with that 20-yard run
We need a
last
quarterback
week.
who can get him the ball, though.
He's
He's
a
ready.
I'm willing to
Yeah.
cash app his plays from Elijah Moore. Go ahead and just siphon those right over to Goodwin. We'll take that money.
All right, Aditi. By the way, if Elijah Moore turns it on second half of the year, Aditi needs to do a victory lap on everybody. 'Cause
She will,
She's
yeah.
the only one. She's one of the very few that still believes in him.
That's right.
She can see walking in
So
her living room.
she's going to have a good celebration on that one. And let's hope. We're all hoping she's right.
We are.
We're all
We
hoping
may
she's right
find
on
out
that.
Sunday as we
Yeah.
watch Aditi and the CBS crew and
Yeah.
the Browns and the Colts from Indy.
That's right.
Aditi, thank you very much.